propaganda in Hollywood movies is built into the ingredients list. It's like if you want flour, you need wheat. You're gonna have to get the wheat. And if you want to be able to make movies about certain subjects, you have to be willing to work with some people. And, it'd be nice if you made it so that this is what we're trying to accomplish, and this is showing the negative side of this other society, and this is and this is our hero. This is our hero who's going to go do America's bidding and go over there, and you're like, okay. And those movies are successful, and so they continue this relationship, and you become a bit of a propaganda arm for the government, and in turn, they don't fuck with you.
Right. But that's what makes information so powerful is, you don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about does following the ritual work. Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I was like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is. So 20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the future. And that somehow calling people the goat would be normalized over the sheep being always the most popular reference.
God damn, we got some good weed, Katt. Jesus Christ.
This must be the weed.
I'm trying to figure out how to jump in on that.
Right. Which is my only goal.
I always wonder whether or not all the stories in the Bible, it's just where we are experiencing it. Like the mark of the beast thing that we were talking about earlier. If that is not, I think if you had to tell a story for so many years,
yeah,
before anybody ever even figured out how to write it down, and you're telling a story about a civilization that allowed people to put brain implants in them, and then all of a sudden the brain implants were hijacked by machines, and people became just meat zombies, controlled by corporations. That would be the mark of the beast. That'd be a demonic thing. If a demon tricked human beings into wearing a hat that turned you into a zombie, that demon would be like a famous character in books and folklore. But that demon exists, and it's just technology. It just shows itself through this desire for the newest, latest innovations that are going to constantly fuel it becoming more and more powerful. Until one day it tricks you into letting it into its head, like a vampire. Like the vampire stories, you had to let him in, remember?
What it do, y'all? Is Coffee tapping back in, man, and goddamn Katt Williams continues the momentum that he is, acquired over the past, a month and a half, 2 months, the Club Shay Shay interview where he set the world and the blogosphere on fire. I mean, he really did, man. He kicked off 2024 on some whole other ish. We were like, damn, man, where's like Katt been at? I know he's been around. He's made appearances. Keeping it real with y'all, I think it was when he got beat up by that kid, man. That was just not a good look. Katt needed to get himself together, rebrand himself. Like, I know he's been around since then, but man, you get beat down by a kid like that, it's like that doesn't really go away. You just kind of need people to forget about it. And that's what's going on, in my opinion, man, is Katt Williams worked this ish out to a science, man. I think whatever was happening with Katt back then, the different things that sometimes he could be his own worst enemy, I think at that point, just kind of said, man, what am I doing to myself? How am I taking L's when I take so many W's? Why does this happen this way? This is it. Katt Williams is on a whole nother run. I'm not going to lose no more. And here we are, 2024, the Club Shay Shay interview, all this momentum, everything going down, the stand-up clips that we've seen since then. And where does he pop up next to really make a huge splash and keep this momentum going? No other place other than the Joe Rogan Experience, the Joe Rogan podcast. Most would I say probably the #1 podcast in all the world and all the blogosphere. And something interesting to that, talking about podcast standings. I don't know if you guys caught Shannon Sharp was speaking of Club Shay Shay was really on the come up when it comes to ratings and different stuff like that, that he was on Joe Rogan's heels. He was saying, I didn't see anything to confirm that and tell us that was 100%, but Shannon said he's right on Joe Rogan's heels. And then now Katt Williams pulls up on Joe Rogan. And I didn't see the full interview, y'all. I'm just diving into this like a lot of other individuals probably are. And like Joe had to really top the Shannon Sharp Club Shay Shay interview. I'm not saying he had to or that Joe Rogan cares to that much. I don't think Joe Rogan is a super competitive guy. Like, I really believe Joe Rogan is this mellow, chill dude that he is, in a sense that Joe is a guy that, you know, like with so many celebs, their true character, how they really are, we don't really know, or we hear it's so different than what we think. I think Joe is a lot like what we see, what he's like on his podcast and what we think Joe is. Like, I think he is who we thought he is. But man, how wild is that? They go from talking about propaganda in Hollywood movies and how different actors and, people making movies have developed rapport with governments and stuff like that. If they will put out an entertaining film but push their propaganda, kind of have a balance there. Have an entertaining film, but we need you to fit this into the films. And it's so wild when you hear them going on to speak of calling things before they happen, seeing things before they happen. I always say when it comes to Hollywood, there's always a wink, wink, nod, nod, kind of a look at things to come, or just little things where you can tell they're alluding to certain things that happened and send us a message. And that's facts, right? Like, we know the CIA has been behind certain movies and stuff like that came out. And then they go from that to Katt and Joe talking about how powerful information is. And, he's not a prophet. He just seen a sign of the times of what was to come. And he knew about the TRANS era, the alphabet GPS era that we're currently living in. And he fucked my mind up with this one. I really didn't know. Like, I knew this when he said it, but I was like, damn, Coffee, how did you forget this? The Baphomet is TRANS. Is that what it is, man? That's like, it's so wild and it's so demonic. And then we know of this current era with a lot of this stuff going on. You can't say nothing about it or you're deemed to be a foul motherfucker. It's type scary, man. It really is. And that had me flucked up. And then the whole SALAD, you gotta have the tossed salad to pay homage. Man, is that creepy. You know what I mean? And it just kind of has me thinking about current day, how there's this laxness in actual stuff, where motherfuckers is making money off apps on their phone. Like, instead of being a YouTuber, they're an actual content creator, and it's all so laxed, and no one gives a fuck about actual ish anymore. Just give it up, give it to everyone. Not that there's anything wrong with anyone having fun, live your life, do you, but listen, you're still giving your body up, and that is something. You know what I mean? When you are too relaxed on that type of ish, it's like you don't care about yourself in a sense. And it's just really is a sign of the times. I hate so often I say sounding so cliche, like, oh, you know, things are crazy these days and look what's going on. But real talk, like, things are crazy these days and look what's going on. And I swear, man, when it comes to that whole salad tossing ritual, I don't know if that's facts. That's another real interesting, funny thing about Katt Williams is you can really never tell when he's trolling or not. And he mixes in like realness with somewhat improvised trolling that's not really factual based at the same time. And his delivery is in such a roundabout, you know, mild-mannered way that you don't know what's what, and you really can't differentiate it unless you know it or you really dig in with your fact checking and your research. But I don't know, y'all. Is the salad tossing ritual a real thing? If it is, oh my goodness, pause. What the fuck? This is scary. But man, I gotta watch this whole thing. Like, for those that really dived in, did this top the Club Shay Shay interview? Now, Joe Rogan, you heard him after that. He didn't know where to go. He's like, God damn, Katt, this is some good weed. We're smoking some real skama llama right here. Oh, the goat thing, too. How wild was that with the goat? You know, in reference to the Sabbatic goat and this whole Baphomet thing, man. We really are living in the demonry era, man. But Joe, yeah, after he came off, he's like, man, we're smoking the skama llama. And, you know, then they transitioned to speaking about the Bible. He didn't even really know where to go. You could tell he was stuck like Chuck for a hot minute right there. And, you know, he started talking about the mark of the beast, everything that's going on. And more or less, the crazy part of this, y'all, peep game here, it seems tech really is that vampire. You know, technology, these devices, everything, it really is the vampire. It really is the mark of the beast, if not 100% by extension. And the crazy thing is, we're all going to continue to use it because we kind of have to, unless, you know, you want to become like an extinct dinosaur. So what is one really to do? You know what I mean? We've all already succumbed to the mark of the beast, whether we know it or not. So we just kind of got to keep our wits about ourselves. Always pay attention to what's going on, and you know, don't get caught up in the hype. That's why when it comes to coffee talk, I always say, let's talk about this. Let's take everything for what it is. Let's bust all this down. Let's break it down. Let's talk about this ish. You know, so we're just fully aware of everything. We're not getting lost in the sauce out here. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. You hit the notification bell. You join the discussion in the comments. This is crazy, B.
You can't sell menthol cigarettes in California.
Right, they have their own cigarettes. They have non-menthol Newports. It's terrible.
Why do black people like menthol so much? What's that about? It's a totally different type of cigarette.
You're gonna get me canceled.
No.
This is very racist, this conversation, even though neither of us are. Go figure.
Just talking about a type of cigarette that people enjoy?
Just saying, why do black people like Newport so much? And a black person actually getting ready to answer this, oh, it's terrible on all ends.
I don't think it is.
Well, I don't think it is either, because we have a new...
It's like if you start asking me about spaghetti, I'm not going to get offended. If you start asking me about Italian food or why are Italian people so loud, I'm not gonna get offended.
How many people have ever died of pasta-related illnesses?
A lot.
Yo, yeah, that's like, I guess they got into talking about menthol ban, vape ban, and, you know, like, yeah, the government is really, they're really worried about the important issues out here. Not really, man. It's all capitalism too at the end of the day. You know, this is B.I.G. tobacco, you know what I'm saying? Wacky tobacco's-ish. They're pushing against other stuff, and I don't know, I can't call it, but everything that's supposed to get pushed into something that's supposed to make it different gets pushed in a way for people to make money. But the Newport Reds, man, Katt said, you're gonna get me canceled with these Newport Reds, and I don't know, I just thought that was rather comical there. And you heard him. He's like, Joe, neither of us are racist, but we gonna get looked at as some racist motherfuckers, man. And he's like, well, what if I'm an Italian guy talking about pasta? He said, how many people have died? Yo, let's keep it a buck, man. Pasta has killed a lot of motherfuckers out here with diabetes, like on the slow game, not fast. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You don't catch pasta shots, pasta strays, and get laid down for the dirt nap. It's the slow death. You feel me? It's health conditions and stuff like that. I don't know if y'all ever seen Rescue Me, but the one dude, Lieutenant Kent Shea, he was in poor health, right? And they were like, man, don't hurt his spirits. Don't get him down on himself. He'll walk into the Olive Garden and use the never-ending pasta bowl like a 45 to the dome, man. So there y'all have it, man. Joe Rogan, Katt Williams setting the world on fire, setting the blogosphere on fire, talking about this demon tech era and everything else, man. Katt Williams really keeping that momentum going. That was something else. Blew my mind all over the place, all over the blogosphere. I'm like, whoa. So let's talk, subscribe. God bless y'all. Stay focused. Don't get caught in the demonry. We got to stay blessed. Can't lose our wits about ourselves, our morals. Got to stay on point. Much love. I'm gone.
Devilish controversy, a statue being unveiled right here in Detroit.
But the group putting on this date with the devil is keeping some things a secret for now. 7 Action News reporter Ross Jones here with a strange story, and this is strange.
Very strange. Some have called this a publicity stunt, guys. Others say that it's just purely sinister. Whatever you want to call it, the group putting it on says you can't stop it. From the moment it was announced, religious leaders have fought to keep this 9-foot, 1-ton symbol of Satan from setting foot in Detroit. They've prayed, they've protested,
gathered together to stand as one unified voice against this demonic spirit.
But the devilish statue is still on its way, now planned to be unveiled this Saturday at an undisclosed location somewhere in Detroit. The event is being put on by the Satanic Temple, a group that first wanted to unveil the statue at Burt's Warehouse in Detroit. But when patrons started to complain, Burt's backed out, and event planners looked for a new venue. On its website, the temple insists it's not a religious group and believes in the pursuit of knowledge and freedom of will. That includes, they say, the freedom to offend. And the statue is more than offensive to many. It was created in response to a monument of the 10 Commandments placed here on the grounds of the state courthouse in Oklahoma City. Ultimately, the temple says that's where they want to place their 9-foot statue permanently. But first comes Saturday night's unveiling, and if you're looking to get in some FaceTime with Satan, the temple would love to have you. The party promises dancing and music starting at 8 p.m. Tickets start at $25. But if you'd like to get your picture taken on the satanic symbol's lap, that will cost $50 more. Turns out the freedom to offend isn't very free at all. So to prevent people from protesting the event venue, the organizers are not announcing where the unveiling will take place until the day of the event. Ticket holders, we are told, will be notified via email sometime Saturday.
Oh, wow, Ross.
Yeah, wow is a good word for it.
We'll leave it at that.
Indeed.